Been through a lot, I'm standing strong. Gone through hell, but I'm still so cool. Is there anything I want to be known for? It is that I wasn't going to give up. Many times I've fallen down. No time, I got to rise up. If there's anything I want you to remember, it's that I've been brave.
This event is presented by Y Niger in partnership with the Future Project and hosted by the Ford Foundation. I'd like us to put our hands together for the Ford Foundation. Thank you very much. And to kick us off quickly with the welcome address, I'd like to call the managing editor of Y Niger, Isime Esene.
Welcome to Conversations on We Survived Boko Haram Stories, brought to you by the Future Project and the Ford Foundation in partnership with yniger.com. It's great to have you around. In 2009, insurgents known loosely as Boko Haram made violent incursions into North-East Nigeria in a bid to establish an Islamic caliphate. The attacks saw the killing of thousands of people and many more others, mostly women and children, getting displaced. yniger.com, as the media partner for the Everyday Nigerian, commissioned CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist Award nominee Eromo Egbejule to visit the North-East states of Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe to report the backstories, stories of despair, triumph, loss, victory, unity, joy, perseverance, hope, and ultimately survival. These are the stories we showcased on yniger.com and will also be making available to you as a downloadable copy. You'll get to hear some of these stories from Eromo and others who will take you into the lives of these victims, survivors actually. We know we can't solve all the problems Boko Haram challenges in a 2-hour conversation, but if we all live here with a sense of shared humanity and collective responsibility, then this conversation would have been worth our while. Thanks for coming.
I think we should commend Y Niger for paying attention to these parts in an environment where it seems like everybody is crazy about the shiny stuff and the fickle stuff. So I'd like us to just put our hands together for Y Niger, the founding partner of the Future Project, to, expatiate more on why we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chude Jidanwo.
Thank you. Thanks. You have listened to a direct, succinct speech. Get ready for an indirect, rambling one. My name is Chude Jidanwo, one of the co-founders of the Future Project. Now, we run a group of organizations called RED. And in 3 words, RED is about media for change. We say at RED that there is nothing more powerful than an inspired, empowered human being. And everything that we do across our 3 companies, the content company, the communication company, and the development organization, are to answer the question, how can you use media to inspire people to take action? We believe that in this century, the media can no longer be a bystander. It's not enough to go to a place and tell stories on the surface. It's better to get a bit deeper into the lives of the people. And it's not enough to even get deeper into the lives of those people. You use that platform to galvanize people to take action. And the things that people know us for, the Future Awards, etc., are all media brands that can fuse pop culture with nation building in a way that inspires people to act. So sometimes people say to you, you have events with celebrities. And we say, well, first and foremost, celebrities are Nigerians, and they are deeply concerned about Nigeria. But more importantly, they have a platform that is powerful. And when you find those who have hearts, it's a responsibility to use those platforms to draw the attention of millions of people to urgent national and local challenges. And that's our mission, really. 3 months ago, we decided that we're going to focus yniger.com on this primary mission. yniger is 5 years old this year. It has gone through a lot of iterations. But all along that line, we've been focused on our mission, which is yniger is supposed to tell the stories that you usually don't hear about. It's not enough to find out to see in the news, man kills wife. You want to find out why did man kill wife? 16 electrocuted in Enugu. We want to find out how did 16 people get executed in Enugu. It's important to delve into why do we do the things we do? Are we the way we are? And so every month we are commissioning series that just go across the country and tell those stories you usually don't hear. And so Eromo has a lot of experience in the North-East. He has reported over 2 years. And we said, Eromo, could you go back? And we'll fund this. And could you go back and just tell us those stories we don't hear? Let's not look at Boko Haram survivors as just numbers. Let's look at them as people. People with stories. People whose futures count. People who we must talk about because they are compatriots. And these stories are the things that he has made up into this 3-week series that we call We Survived Boko Haram. Some of those stories are dramatically touching. It's almost shocking to believe that these are Nigerians in Nigeria. One of the stories I couldn't overcome was the one of the young boy whose face was completely disfigured by the bombs. And he had to wear a face mask, not just to protect us from the shock, but so his ears don't fall off. And even until reading those stories, I didn't understand how important those stories were. And there are people that say that Nigerians don't want to read these stories. But this is the interesting thing we found out. Every day that we published the story from this 3-week series, they were the top read stories on whynigeria.com. Every day. So it is not true that Nigerians are not interested in these stories. It is that nobody is telling Nigerians these stories in a dedicated, committed, consistent way. And that's the job. So everyone knows it cost us almost ₦1 million to do these stories. It wasn't funded by anybody or anything. And we already sent him. He just came back from the Niger Delta. He spent another 2 weeks reporting on the blasts of pipelines and another crisis happening where we also have children in Warri and anywhere else who are growing up in chaos, growing up and looking at Nigeria through the eyes of chaos. We need to tell these stories. We need to bring these stories home. And we need to gather people like you who are influential and influencers to begin to think constructively about how can we take action to save and preserve the lives of fellow citizens. That's our mission at whynigeria.com. And we thank you for joining us on this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chude. So we're going to read the stories. And I'd like to request that we please respect the material we're reading. So I'd like to give some house rules. Please put your phones on silent. Next up is our very own darling Deva Waje.
We survived Boko Haram, the Great Trek. Between Big Tuesday, 15th February 2012, and Black Sunday, 14th September 2014, Abba Maman had the privileged misfortune of witnessing 12 different attacks by Boko Haram insurgents seeking to overrun his hometown and forcibly install an Islamic caliphate. The 13th, which commenced at 5 a.m., was the final straw that broke the proverbial camel's back and sent the 43-year-old father of 6 scrambling for his dear life. At this time, Maman was an irrigation officer who also dabbled in animal husbandry, leaving his diploma certificate in Sharia and civil law from the Borno State College of Legal and Islamic Studies to gather dust at the bottom of a traveling box. So that morning, as he prepared to go about his daily business with the usual spring in his step, the rattles of gunshots in the air and multiple screams of Allah Akbar halted him in his tracks and woke up his sleeping wife, who in turn woke up the rest of the family. We came out of our house and saw people running helter-skelter, confusion everywhere. So all of us started crawling on the streets because of stray bullets. After crawling over 200 meters, his wife advised that they split. Sensing that the insurgents will, in all likelihood, kill the men in town first. So while he moved towards the barracks for safety with the other men and few teenagers of both sexes, She and her children fled to the opposite direction towards the gates of the town. 4 hours he was there, and within a week, he was reunited with his wife and their youngest child. She told me that other children had split from her while they were running, and she had no idea where they were. Their hopes of finding them soon turned into despair as weeks turned into months. But poor kept on searching. His faith was rewarded one sunny day as he was walking back from a fruitless search 2 months in, and he heard, "Baba, we are here." It was the voice of an exhausted 13-year-old child who had led her 4 siblings for 3 days, trekking over 75 kilometers through the inner village of Maiduguri. They had hidden in the town for 2 months before escaping when they ran out of food supplies. I knelt and cried with them for minutes before remembering that I had to take them home. Losing one child is never a good thing, not to mention 3. The memory of seeing that 13-year-old die in front of me is still with me, and that could have been my daughter. These days, he's a 200-level student of public administration at the University of Maiduguri, scrapping off funds being donated infrequently by well-wishers, including the former provost of his old school, for catering to their needs. Thank you.
We survived Boko Haram from Baga to Jerusalem. Dorcas Musa was scheduled to be sold on a Thursday, and she knew. The 13-year-old had eavesdropped on a conversation in Canary between 2 members of Boko Haram, the insurgency group that had kidnapped her and 4 others of her hometown of Baga a few months earlier. One of them had been sold the week before, so Dorcas knew that it was only a matter of time before she became a sex slave or a child bride. So she later that night ran, keeping to the bushes, and walking when she felt her energy levels had dropped, then running again when she heard any sound. 2 days later, she stopped in one of the villages, exhausted, but luckily she got a free ride to Maiduguri. Her mother, Esther, remembers that they came on the 3rd of May 2014. They had gone to the farm that morning at 5 a.m. and were already working when they heard shouts of Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Even before they looked up, they knew they had company, and they knew who the company was. It was Boko Haram. They ran, Esther narrates, they ran all the way out of town, stopping to catch their breaths and running again until they reached Mungoro, which was a nearby town. Thankfully, the government had sent vehicles there to carry displaced people. And so they joined them to Maiduguri. One day, they were at a camp when Dorcas walked in. It felt like a dream to a mother who was learning to live with the fact she would never get to see 2 of her 4 children ever again. A happy dream. Living in the camp is like never living in your own home. Before they would cook and serve us food, but that is no longer the case. There is no food here. Thank you.